Hello and welcome back. This is Siobhán, Celtic Empath, and I am sitting here in Ireland, and I decided to come on today because I've been doing some work, some energy work, and it's the end of the week, and the end of the week is good because we can kind of let go a little bit of our sense of duty or responsibilities to a certain extent. It's Friday, and we've certainly got that Friday feeling here in Ireland. We have the sun shining, which is unusual for us. So we do try to get out and make the most of it when the sun is here, when we have a blue sky. So yeah, today there was kind of a number of things that I want to address, but a lot of the things, well, there's a lot of insects buzzing around my head at the moment. The main thing that the topic I kind of wanted to talk about, and that I love to have conversations about, is in relation to our heritage. And I don't mean myself, and I don't mean Ireland. I mean the collective heritage, our ancestry, and like worldwide, because it's quite an interesting thing. And I'm reading a book at the moment. I'll share it with you at the end what it is that I'm reading. It's a big book. I've been reading it for quite some time. But of course, I have about 10 books on the go at the same time. So I'm actually reading and dipping in and out of a few books. But there's a couple of them are very similar topics. And one of them is called Ireland, Land of the Pharaohs, which it's an old book. Well, not old. I shouldn't say old. Written by, I think, oh gosh, Andrew Power back in the 80s or the 90s. I think he wrote it. Very insightful, interesting book about history. And when I say history, I don't just mean Ireland, even though it is related very much about the history of Ireland, but the history of the world is very much connected to all of our cultures and the Indo-Europeans. And yeah, it's fascinating. I'm not going to go into it. I think that as somebody who names themselves as being the Celtic empath, it's a kind of a definition. It's a definition of sorts. And I don't like to define myself. I've never, ever been interested in defining myself. In fact, when the moment comes in society as an empathic person, you tend to walk away from definitions or from groups or organizations, people, places that are trying to define you and make you be part of, subscribe to something that isn't maybe intuitively correct or resonating for some reason, which is why a lot of empathic people are on the fringe or feel they're on the fringe, not part of society, feel a lot of rejection and abandonment. And rejection would be two big things that empathic people have to deal with. But in relation to history, as an empathic person, a Celtic empathic person, so going through the schooling system in Ireland, like there's this, the educational standard here is really good, but you know, it's a system. It's a system that is designed, created by certain people, and who those people are, I don't even know who they are, but they're deciding what I'm going to learn in school. They're deciding what we all learned in school. And so as part of civilization, so-called civilized society, we are going along with this. We subscribe to the educational standard that is set out for us. So, okay, and off we go. And some of people really thrive in that environment because they don't, it's okay, they don't question it, and they can survive or thrive within it. More of us have to hang in there to survive in the system, and certainly don't thrive, which is the experience. Perhaps if you're watching this video, it might also be your own experience as well. But so historically, we're told kind of what it is we're supposed to learn, what history is. And since a very young age, I just never got with the program. I never got with school. I never got with the standard. I never got with what it was that we were told to believe, that this is it, this is what happened, and this is the way it happened. For example, the whole theory about us coming from apes, like I never believed that. And so that theory for me is dead in the water. It's something that has, I think, made apes out of us, to be quite honest. And there are certain people on YouTube, people with a lot of followers who subscribe to this belief system. But anyway, so we're told what to believe. We're told what the history of our countries are. We're told what the history of the world is. We're told the history of politics. But it doesn't resonate, does it? I don't think it resonates with a lot of us, because intuitively there's a lot of us who are feeling something's kind of off. And we don't have all the facts, do we? We never really feel like we have all the facts. And a lot of history has been kept from us. Take, for example, there's some pyramids in Egypt where people have not been allowed to go into, and archaeologists haven't been allowed to go into them. I think there's like one guy, some top archaeologist, that only has access into some massive pyramid in Egypt. But anyway, I've been reading books recently that have been talking to me about the true history. And I mean, okay, so David Icke's books. David Icke kind of opened that up big time for a lot of people quite a while ago. What is really the true history of the earth? People like Stuart Swerdlow, like he's been talking and he's written loads of books about what is the true history. But I've been reading more like historical books. For example, that one, Ireland's Land of the Pharaohs. And that one is based on history, archaeology, it's based on scriptures, it's based on the Book of Kells, and it's based on other information that has come forward, and information that had to be dug into, that was archived, that had to be really, really dug into and found in order for this writer, Andrew Power, to actually get this information. So it's there, it's hidden. Not all of it is there, not all of it's transparent. But Andrew Power did an incredibly important amount of research in relation to Ireland and its Celtic, or so-called Celtic history, because there is more behind that about the civilization of Ireland and what was a more civilized civilization that was set long before the Romans and the Greeks. But anyway, because there's actually a lot of history here, but just this piece of where we've been told what to believe, we've subscribed for a long time, and we've gone along with it, and it's made us quite victimless and powerless, because it seems like this massive thing. How can we change it and overturn it? And then knowledge is power, and an awful lot of knowledge, and yet still a lot of knowledge has been kept from us in certain places. In a certain place in Rome, for example, they have a lot of information under lock and key over there. But it's kind of like saddening and it's maddening at the same time. And I was reading a second book. It's called Ireland, or the Irish history in relation to the Bible, something like that. It's an Audible book that I came across. But it was mind-blowing to me, the first couple of chapters, listening to the history, the Celtic history, the Druidic history, about the history of actual sacred priests and priestesses, and the different lineages and bloodlines that there are. And the corruption has gone on for thousands of years at this stage, like absolutely thousands of years. And we need to come out of it now. That's kind of the thing. And in relation to being Celtic, the Celtic civilization started a long, long time ago. And according to some historical books, the Celtic civilization was more civilized than the Greeks and the Romans, and that those civilizations came from the Celts. But the idea that all of this is cracking now, like this information is cracking, the veils are cracking, more and more people are starting to look maybe beyond what they're being told, looking for the truth. And it starts with what is now the truther community, or I don't know, the conspiracy theory, whatever, or like the out there, because there's all kind of names being bandied around the place that I'm not really into. But we have a duty to ourselves to not be afraid anymore, to question what it is that we're being taught, to question what it is that our children are still being taught in schools. And as empathic parents, as empathic adults, we know that there has to be a better way. We know that there needs to be a better way. And for the next generations coming, and this is outside of what's going on in the rest of the world in relation to the other drama that's happening, because that's a drama. It's a major distraction. It's a major fear-mongering situation. And that's the one that makes you take your eye off of the ball. That's the one that distracts you, and that's the one that will stop you, can stop you, impede you, slow you down, take you off of your path from maybe doing the correct investigations, finding the correct information that you need to be doing, from living your life every day without the distraction. It's a big distraction, but I get that it's a big distraction. And especially for light work for people, because we're part of the solution as such. But anyway, so that's it. I don't want to make this too long. I'm just trying to make the most of the sun today, because I like to do my videos outside. And after this, it'll probably be pouring rain. We'll be heading into our winter. And it's harder for me. I don't like making my videos indoors. I prefer to sit outside and do it. But anyhow, I do want to mention as well, on the other side of things, so we have like the historical side of things, where I know that there is information and knowledge about civilizations in those other books that I'm reading. And you don't have to be Irish or living in Ireland or be Celtic to have to know this knowledge, because the knowledge of Ireland is key. And for many, many reasons that I'm not going to go into, but Ireland plays an extremely important role in the world, historically, our ancestors, and for the future, energetically speaking. But so on a knowledge basis and an information basis, on a factual basis, if you like, those are the two other books that I've been reading. And I can put the names of those into the description box if people are interested in reading them. But so that's the facts side of things. That's the information. The other book that one of the other books that I'm reading is this one. So this is by Rising Phoenix Aurora. You can find Rising Phoenix Aurora on the website of the same name. And she also has a YouTube channel. Because in the past, since the lockdowns, I became RAAH Hypnosis qualified and RAAH Reiki qualified as well. Prior to that, I was doing other energy work, other modalities. But when I discovered RAAH Hypnosis, I was absolutely hooked. It's so advanced. It's from QHHT, Dolores Cannon's hypnosis. And Aurora is like a protege of Dolores. So, and so the work has been developed and taken to the next level that is needed for where we're at now and what we're dealing with. So Aurora has like incredible videos of hypnosis sessions. And why I'm talking about this is because Aurora's book is called The Galactic Soul History of the Universe. And in this book, she has a lot, what was there, like nearly 30 recorded sessions that are not in, most of them are not in YouTube videos, the ones that are in the book. So she has brought through in her work a lot of the history of the galaxy, of the universe, of various different planets, what have I been watching? Dimensions and whatnot. So there's a wide variety of information. And in the 3 books here that I'm just talking to you about, like you're going to be bombarded with info. And from what I consider to be, you know, the grounded, rooted, historical research side, that can be researched in libraries and whatnot. And then we're going to go out to the universe, to the galaxy with Aurora. And it's not just about the galaxy. It's about lives. It's about past lives as well as past life regression. But a lot of the true galactic history is coming through in all of our hypnosis sessions. So that's kind of really it. I am going to do another video, maybe tomorrow. I'll take advantage of the sun. I just want to talk a little bit about being a part of like the newer social media things. But that's going to be another chat for tomorrow. So wishing you all of the best love and light. Thank you for listening. If you made it that far, thank you so much for actually listening and paying attention, because it may resonate, may be valuable to you, maybe not. But thank you. And every single person is very much appreciated that does take the time to actually hear when I do make a video. So